one of the hardest things to get to on a client is the section of the upper vertebrae. This is particularly important because of, for whatever reason, osteoporosis, the way we're carrying the body. My biggest thing is I really believe that the entire system should twist, the vertebrae should twist. Most people feel the back just bends over or sits upright, but they don't take into consideration that the bones, even though they're quite large, do float quite nicely in the back. So the ball allows my client to not only be suspended, so she's not using any of her true muscles to hold the back up like if she wasn't sitting, but she's not guarded too, where someone's going to be worried about, quote, falling over. And also the ball takes a lot of that energy. So if I were to go into the back, the ball's going to respond back. So actually the rib cage in the front of the body is actually getting a small workout too, as well as just from the manipulation that I'm doing in the back. Where this is really nice, and you might have to go on the table or whatever, or sit your client if you don't want it to happen, is the upper neck. What I've done here is I just put a chair right in front so the ball is resting on the chair so it doesn't go forward, so she doesn't have to hold the ball in place. See, normally in this position you'd have to have your client sitting. So this way too, especially if your client's had a stroke or any kind of trauma that they're, again, the ability to even sit up is an issue. This is a really great solution. One thing that, now I've only been doing this maybe like 5-6 minutes. What's really starting to happen, which is nice, is the extension through the upper vertebrae. See, normally it's quite difficult to allow the head to go longer, especially through this section of the spine. But because I have the ball there, she's not counterbalancing herself. And again, you really can work on the lower vertebrae. The lower vertebrae can have such beautiful movement. Most people just don't even consider. Most people just think that they're stacked and they just go in a very... most people think that the vertebrae are just stacked and go in very limited mobility. Also the fact that most people, if they've had a back surgery, feel that that function just cannot be regained again. And this allows the real subtle movements to come out while the person stays quite comfortable. See, now I haven't even worked with the pelvis, but because the upper back is functioning so nicely, that goes right into play. And then working on the elongation of the hips through the upper back. So now, keeping the client in sitting, you can still work now back against the ball. You want to be careful too, because the head's feeling quite nice at this point, and you want to keep the system secure as possible. and you can walk the ball up the back this way. And really work on how the sternum is involved with the movement of the rib cage to allow that to happen. And then you can also bring the ball lengthwise. And I'm just working the spreading of the, opening up the rib cage up on top, changes in the sternum and the shoulder blades. And now you can really see how the upper back has changed.